Well, the grass has been mowed and ass has been rode, so I got no more business in this town that requires my immediate attention. I'm going to take off down the river for about 5 days. I'm stepping off weighing a svelte 191 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. So this whole pack, everything all totaled, I'm stepping off at a combined weight of 271 pounds. So I got 80 pounds of gear. All right, it's not my most efficient or ergonomic loadout, that's for sure. Should probably try it on. Definitely not centered and balanced, but I don't plan on walking that far. That's pretty tolerable. Right. Time to get this show on the road. This is where the terrain gets only slightly difficult because it's loose. I suppose I could drop my pack or, you know, do shuttles. It's not like it's that steep or big of a hill. All right, now time to get in there and set up the boat. There's probably a better way to stow all this. Haven't found it. I'm at about 6 inches of water. Let's see if I can't board the boat at this point in time. All right, butt's dragging just a little. Yeah, I can make it from here. I'd say we're officially underway. Going upstream for just a little bit, see how the boat tracks. Without the fin down, not bad. Now, with the fin down, a little bit better, but not noticeable. I'm going to keep the fin up anyway since I'm going downstream. I'm going to make my turn. Again, I wouldn't necessarily call them rapids, but the first bit of swift water that you hit right out of the pipe when I insert is just to the right, heading downstream. And I'm not saying you're past the point of no return at that juncture, but you're in it. So I need 6 inches of water to float, about 8 inches to go. Okay, watch them rocks. And I'm already stuck. That's the thing about it when it's shallow. Every paddle dip, I'm scraping rocks. That was a big one. I'm gonna really have to cruise over here to the right to avoid the rest of these. A little more than I expected. I used to sticking all the way to the right, or as you were all the way to the left. But it's so shallow and there's so many rocks over there, I didn't really have a choice but to go to the right. Good thing I'm set to get wet. I was talking with the old man, and he made mention. He goes, you know it's going to storm. I said, yeah, I'm pretty well outfitted. But just from the moving water and going over those little bit of rapids, I'm already wetter than I would be if I had a rain jacket on and it was thunderstorming. As exhibited. There's enough water in the boat, it would technically warrant making port somewhere and purging it just to start off even. But we'll see. Well, now this is something I need to check out here on the right. I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but this looks like a boat launch, and it is new to my eyes. So I think I'll make port there, doff my gear and purge my boat, and check out the scenes. All right, taking the sights of this boat launch here. That's where I'm coming from. Just left my gear. There's all kinds of action going on here today. Sounds like we got a train. I mean, what else could that be? There it goes. Norfolk Southern. And then across the way on the bridge, got a range going hot, so I'll peep that just to confirm who it is. Pretty sure it's a Struthers PD. I won't belabor you with the walk. So this gives me a pretty good eye on what I'm looking at. I'll probably stick to the left, stay in that swift water. One thing about kayaking or any kind of river travel is you go with the flow. Yeah, over there, that white building, I might zoom in on it. That's where the range is. Can't exactly go back there. Got no business there anyways. Oh no. Said not enough SD card space. What the fuck's that mean? I got hours. Anyway, give you a better view here. This is where they knocked out the dam, making ease of travel down this river possible. Because prior to that, if you went to the right, you got shot out at about, oh, I don't know, 5.5 foot, almost 6 foot drop. And if you stuck to the left, you'd hit that one wall so hard, you'd ricochet off and risk capsizing. But again, there are still obstacles as evidenced by these rocks, like that one there. But they are easily avoidable. Even if it's a packed river, once you get to spots like this, you know, you hang back. You don't go like 4 people wide. You just kind of ducks in a row and follow the lead, which is usually your strongest paddler. And in my case, for my adventures, I'm always the lead and the tail, or trail. So I am both the strongest and weakest paddler in my party. It is always fascinating to me when you look at the top of the piers on these bridges. You see a bunch of driftwood, and it's amazing. Like typically, you would say that the water level doesn't get that high. At most, the water level gets up, and you can see, as evidenced on these piers, maybe about 4 feet higher at most than what it is currently. But what does happen is that water pushes these log jams higher and higher, and the more that comes down, the higher they raise, and then they'll deposit those logs on those piers. So it just fascinates me how all that works. Always wanted to walk across this span over here, this arch, just on top. Wouldn't be too much of a balancing act. It'd just be something of a view. I'm going to make a quick port here because this came up in conversation with a friend. Actually, 2 reasons I'm making a quick port here. I heard a gunshot, and then 1 single gunshot, and then somebody sped away on what sounded like a razor, like an off-road vehicle. So for somebody to fire 1 single solitary shot in a conspicuous area like this kind of raises my curiosity. I'll let it roll and then I'll edit as necessary. All right, it's not going anywhere. I'm breaking my one, it wouldn't be a steadfast rule, but good piece of advice. Never leave your boat and your paddle in the same place. Yeah, this will be a good ingress. I've got enough poison ivy, I'm not worried about getting any more. Yeah, there it is. Well, definitely someone's been down here fucking around. Anyhow, this is an old switching yard. You got your command tower there. You got your office building here. You got your maintenance bay there. Communication towers. And then 2 parallel lines. And then there's 2 additional lines on the other side over there. Anyway, this shit's all abandoned. Structurally unsound. Every so often you'll see kids down here on their motorbikes or 4-wheelers fucking about and then moving on, but there's nothing in there that's worth even a peek. But still, curiosity gets the best of some people. And then of course you got what I'm going to dub the tunnel of love. So I'm sure kids come down here and they drink light beer and smoke pot and get pregnant. But, you know, what's ever changed since they've had pot and light beer? Status quo. Can't wait to wash my legs off. I got those little spines from those stinging plants sticking in them. It's not terrible. That path, I think this used to be an old rail portion, because you have all the electronics here for communication on the wire. Got all that. But yeah, that goes back and terminates. It's just the end of a path up there. If you came down through here and had an off-road vehicle or something, wanted to pull a camp, that'd probably be the place. But it seems like enough people hang out here. Signs of Life, Busch Light, Bud Light, Twisted Tea, all relatively new. Red Bull, Bud Ice. All right, definitely a Struthers staple there. But yeah, just one of those fucking places you shouldn't trespass on, and you get arrested doing so. But again, evidence, signs of life. One single footprint, male. Probably just a bum seeking shelter from storms or whatever underneath that overhead cover from that. That's actually, I think, that's an abandoned line too up there. I'm gonna speculate, just going off the sound of the report of the gunshot to the time of the acceleration of the off-road vehicle out of here, heading that direction. I'm gonna say it was just somebody popping to get their gun off. You know what? Take it inside for a little. I left my light down there, but maybe I'll lighten this up in post-production. Again, like I said, there ain't nothing going on in here worth writing about. It stinks of urine. So, given my footwear and the amount of broken glass and sharp rocks and masonry, I don't think I'm going to be going too much further. Fun of people, or I used to make fun of people for drinking light beer, but now they got all kinds of flavored alcoholic beverages around that 4.5%, and it seems like that's probably the regular old panty dropper. There is that blueberry Aussie Truly. All right, well, I got my stick for if I'm going to be bushwhacking, I ought to whack some bushes out of the way. Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't fool me because I can't get fooled again. This is one of those things you see going down the river. Abandoned structures from bygone era of transportation and civil engineering. This here is an outlet. For what I don't know, it might actually be a pump house to move water, probably to a holding unit, either for the railroad or local municipality. But yeah, long and short, there's just something about these old structures made of concrete and brick, covered in ivy. You know, couldn't tell you when it was built, couldn't tell you how long it was in service, but it's still standing as a relic. Windows all busted out and whatnot, probably from the inside. Yeah, some you don't get to see from the shore. Here's another one, not too much further down the way. Could only imagine the bum sex that's went on in there over the years, both from bums and in the bum. All right, so this is a tiny town of Lowell, featured in one of my previous videos. The preferred method of suicide in Lowell is usually standing in front of a train. Lately, it's been shooting oneself in a cafeteria. That being said, both usually concur with school events. An unseen yet possible form of suicide will be stealing my fucking boat or fucking with my shit while I go into town, because I gotta go get a electrolyte beverage, not so I can sustain myself, but so that I have something to piss in while I'm going downstream. Howdy. Pretty decent facility. Men and women's hard stand latrine. Dam removal project for the purpose of improving water quality and to make the river easier to navigate. By improving water quality, I'd imagine they mean allowing a freer pathway for litter and trash to flow all the way to the Gulf of Mexico eventually. Staple of a government project, placing the American flag. Plus, it's a pretty patriotic area. You can see all the way down the street. Yeah, Lowell industrial history. Across the Mahoning River from the site was Lowell Works. Oh, look, it's already been graffitied. Of the Sharon Steel Corporation, 1917 to 1961, Sharon Steel was formed from two separate mills, the Ohio Iron and Steel Company, home of the historic Mary iron ore furnace, erected in 1845, and the Youngstown Iron and Steel Company, established in 1915, which produced steel from its 4 open hearth furnaces. The Mary furnace is believed to be the first blast furnace in the world to use raw bituminous coal in the production of pig iron. How about you now? And what you see here are 2 large millstones. The use of which I do not know. Potentially for grinding grain, I would imagine. I don't know where they came from. I don't know if they're original, but there they are. And then you have this contraption here made of iron, cast iron. Looks like it might have some steel parts, but what this was a I want to say a water valve where this screw apparatus would elongate and recede to close this off to meter the water going into the mill for I would imagine cooling purposes. Let's check here. So the Ohio River, valuable resource for Lowell's early industries, as all rivers are, because most civilization crops up near them, either for travel or for resource for Lowell's early industries, as all rivers are, because most civilization crops up near them, either for travel or for harnessing the power of it. So all along the Mahoning River, steel and iron mills were erected to take advantage of its resources. These operations required a vast amount of water, which was pumped from the river and discharged back into the river after use in mill operations. The valve you see here, that I imagine, not in the picture. The valve you see here on display was used for that purpose by the Youngstown Iron and Steel Company, whose mill was erected here in 1915 and drew water from behind the old dam that once traversed the river at this location. Another prominent industry was the flour and grist mills. Okay, there's the grindstones. The grindstones you see on display here were found in the river, not far from this location, and are from one of the several grist mills which operated here for over a century. Okay, so they are original. Some OG grist mill stones. And then this talks about the grain. All right. So Lowell, the Valley's Flour and Grain Center. The very first grist mill was built in Lowell by John McGill shortly after he settled here in 1800. Over the years, several more grist and flour mills were established along the banks of the Mahoning River. At one time, the villages of Lowell, or Low, as you were, on the north bank of the river, and McGillsville on the south bank of the river were main producers of grain and flour in the valley. A later mill was the Lowell Milling Company, which had the capacity to produce 725 barrels of flour per day. From 1839 until 1872, Pennsylvania-Ohio Canal, also known as the Mahoning Crosscut Canal, traversed the village and ran parallel to the water street, giving the street its original name of Canal Street. The canal brought commerce to the village and provided the flouring mills and other businesses an economical way to transport their goods through approximately 82 miles of waterway between Akron, Ohio and Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Why do I think waterway is one word? I have to look that up. Figure I'll record walking through Lowell here. This place is actually a hidden gem. A lot of people don't come down here to party or do anything really, and the place is pretty quiet. But if you're looking for quiet, they have a car show quite a bit actually down here, like every week. Classic cars, a lot of muscle cars, Corvettes. It takes place over there, and then that's where the Stavich Trail picks up. But I am putting a lot of faith in this burg for nobody to go down there and fuck with my boat. Oh look, here comes a train. Hopefully I don't get stuck on this side too long. Should be in and out. Now I feel like I gotta take a shit. One thing I will say about this town that I absolutely like, there's no McDonald's. Blue Powerade. Actually, that Coors looking mighty tasty. Too much Fiji water. I need the wide mouth.
I mean, how bad is it now?
Oh, hey. And payday. So much. You have a good day.
Thank you.
No
It
rush.
didn't mess up his kidneys yet, right? What else?
I think that'll do it. That'll do it.
Right there? Okay, he's dehydrated. Okay. All right. What did he say? I drink water?
What are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. $3.97.
There's 4. You can keep changing.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
But did you tell him how much Betty he's going to have to drink?
You can always do business. You can't always talk on the phone, you know. All right, finished my payday, finished my Powerade. So I got my little portable piss bottle, as any piss bottle I suppose would be. But I'm going to download before I move out. This still smells of fresh paint. Pretty nice. What? Is that a heater? Why, that is definitely a heater, and it is kicking. And this wonderful flake epoxy floor, very welcoming. Man, nice accommodations. GoPro, stop recording. Come to think of it, if I was a junkie or a prostitute, this would be the place to do it. Wait a minute. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Yeah, I'd say as far as boat launches and liveries go, this one has a lot more to offer than the other one. I wouldn't necessarily brag about the B&O station. That's just a little dock there. Most people just use it for fishing. Plus, once you insert, you're like right there on a 2-foot drop rapid. Yeah, pretty decent. What's this? Oh, buzzball. Cool. So now we know where all the miscreants hang out. Well, so long, Lowell. You've been very accommodating. Woo. Little swift, little swift. Watching the rocks. Got just a little wet, but you got to go through the swift part, because right over there, you can't tell as easily, but it's the remnants of a dam. And right now, with the water level being relatively low, that could be dangerous. This is the best part of the whole trip. River's going by about 3 miles an hour. Maybe next time I hear rapids, I'll tempt fate and just ride it out. But if it wasn't going to thunderstorm, I could probably sleep in the boat like this. Maybe throw a cover on or something. GoPro, stop recording. You can hear the water getting swift. Might have to pay attention. Hitting rocks. It's a little white. No big deal. As long as I don't hit any rocks, it'll be fine. GoPro, stop recording. So this low bridge here is Covert Road, which I don't know what they're talking about because it's pretty plain to see. And to the right of it is the McKinney-Russell boat launch area. It's not very well developed, but there is a parking area. So if you got to get in, there's a place. Or if you got to get out, I guess that's how boat launches work. I've been on the river now for about 8 hours. I got maybe an hour and no, maybe about 2.5 hours until sunset, and then maybe an hour and a half until those projected thunderstorms roll in. Again, projected. I haven't checked the radar for this vicinity. Clouds can definitely break once it reaches a dew point. Either way, I'm outside of Mahoning town. 376 is coming up, and that's the demarcation between the Mahoning River and the Beaver River. And I'll probably pick it up when I get there. Should be able to see those two bridges up ahead. That's 376. That's again where the Mahoning flows into the Beaver. And technically it's still the Mahoning until the Shenango confluence, where all three rivers join. On this island here, just after 376, I have camped on it before with good success. Last time I did, I was soaking wet from the rain. My one boat had a puncture in it. It is shallow through here. Yeah, my one boat had a puncture in it and I had to repair it. It was just a calamity of errors. I'd been dragging that boat all day and it was filling up with water. It was an inflatable. Anyhow, it seems like there's been some tree fall here, making the left side a little impassable, but there should be a little inlet here where it breaks from this front part of the island to the middle. So I'll see if I can get up in there, because this this tree fall is creating an impassable obstacle. I probably should have forecasted that and went to the right, but I'm banking on this little inlet being able to cut through. Actually, no impasse is possible if you can go around. Okay. Yeah, I'll make port here, scout it out, and then if I have to, I'll pull everything up in. Worst case scenario, I double back. I can go right over in there. Right. Soft mud. Please, no snapping turtles. There are actually a lot of turtles in this area. I see them sunning themselves on the banks. Okay. Leave that here for now. Right. After scouting, I can tell you that my previous site on the east end of the island does offer optimal cover and placement for a rainfly. However, the foliage is so overgrown and dense that I'd have to whack in there, and I don't feel like clearing brush. And it's on the eastern tip And again, it's previous site and it's pretty nice. But with everything so overgrown, I'm going to opt for on the southern side. I'm just going to paddle over there. There's a pretty decent clearing. It's just right on the water. Well, this is camp for tonight, so I'm going to air dry a little bit. Oh, up here. I'm going to air dry a little bit, and then I'm going to get hooched up. Might eat tonight, might eat tomorrow morning, and then I'll head out.